Hello, my tarot maniac. So we are going to unpack the Beckham-Peltz family dynamic drama in a 4-part series. I know Harry's in court this week. We're going to get to him too, but I was dying to do this 4-part series. So in this, I am going to read for each person individually. We're not going to assign blame. We're just here to understand where the tensions began, how it's being experienced, and what would actually help mend those fences. This reading is going to be focused on Brooklyn himself, his perspective, his role, and his choices going forward. So buckle up, buttercups. We're going to be right back. All right, tarot fam, I already put up the card views. Make sure you hit that like button. We are going to jump right in because I want to make these quick and dirty and easy so that we can keep following this particular celebrity drama. I just want to remind you guys, we're doing intuitive insight here, energetic interpretation. Nothing is fated and unchangeable. Everything that we do in our life, with the exception of just a few things, is subject to free will. So let's see if we can get some free will in here and solve some issues for the Beckhams. I am going to be using my Carnival deck. It's a little itty bitty deck, but we're going to be using it and having some fun with it. I think you guys are going to like it. It's bright, it's sunny, and hopefully it's going to bring some good cheer over to the Beckhams and the Peltzes, who are not doing so good right now. So let's start with Brooklyn. I'm going to make this nice and big so you can see it. The origin of his issue. So in his Instagram post, he did cite an incident at the wedding and clearly put his mom Victoria on blast. I am a Victoria fan. I am a David Beckham fan. I have a really hot and sexy poster of him in my closet. It's not up, out of courtesy for Greg, but David Beckham, yeah, what a guy. Except for that high squeaky voice. He's got a little high squeaky voice. But Brooklyn's issue with his family, was this a real wound or was it perceived? We're going to look at the emotional truth versus the energetic truth, and maybe there were some misalignments here. So let's see what we've got. Right in the middle, we've got the moon, and we have the Knight of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles in reverse, High Priestess, 6 of Cups, and Temperance. So the moon in reverse, we always want to be careful when we get this, because sometimes that is mooniness or moodiness. Sometimes that's a lot of emotions that are in there. The Knight of Pentacles being right on top of it is curious, because this is someone who wants to go create their own name. And the High Priestess here is secrets kept. With that moon, more secrets are concealed. We're talking about concealment here. The 4 of Pentacles in reverse. I know a lot of people are saying the Harry storyline kind of goes along with this. This spread is saying yes, it does, because this tells me that while Brooklyn is very, very keen on the way that he grew up, he wants to make his own way and he wants to break away from the family. Now, very few Nepo babies, I'm sorry, I know that's a dirty word, but then very few Nepo babies are able to kind of scoot out from under the bright, shining sunlight of their celebrity parent or parents. Amy Osborne was one of them that really tried to do that, and that was the reason why she did not appear in the reality series, The Osbournes. Now, Brooklyn has participated in a lot of the family promotion and PR, but now he's saying in these statements that he didn't want to be a part of that. He didn't want to have that be part of his mythology and legend. So temperance is his outcome card. He's really hoping that he's going to be able to get out from under that. So I think this is the core issue. And this is a tough issue if you are a celebrity kid. This is really, really hard to deal with. You cannot pretend that you are not David Beckham's kid. Like you can't hide from it. There is a certain level of celebrity that is just going to be an unavoidable fact in your life. So you're going to have to work with it. I find it very curious that he did try to become a chef, and Gordon Ramsay and his wife are very, very good friends with the Beckhams. I dare I say, like besties. I think they are besties. Why was Brooklyn not taken under the wing of Gordon Ramsay? There must be some reason for that. Maybe he rejected it. Maybe he said it's too much of a leg up. But this really shows me that he wanted to break away from that family name. Really, so was it an actual injury? Page of Pentacles. I do think that his novel attempts, and I know that he hasn't had much of a work history. I think that his novel attempts to go his own way were refuted by the people. I don't think he could open any doors without his parents. That's kind of terrible. The power dynamic that he disclosed, that his family was manipulating his image, that they had demanded some signature on some documentation about branding post-marriage. Was that power dynamic legitimate? Were his parents and the brand Beckham, was the brand Beckham really bearing down on Brooklyn the way that he described? Is that legit? Six of Wands in reverse. I don't think so. So let's clean up my real estate. We're just going to unpack that a little bit. He did reference that, and this is in his own Instagram post, he did reference that they attempted to get him to sign something for the months leading up to his marriage. What was that all about? I'm going to move that up there. Queen of Pentacles, Four of Swords. I think that they were trying to prevent rampant use of their branding. I'm sorry, for his wife. I think they were really trying to make sure that any decisions that were made would have to be made through the corporation of Beckham branding. I don't know if it's a corporation, but it would have to go through the machinery of Beckham to be approved. And I think that that was something that was to protect the brand. Eight of Wands. They said, we'll work with you into the future, or you will work on your own. Really, this was to give them control over the name Beckham and anything that would come of it. So I think that that's fair. You can't be in a masterful, powerful family and not have some lines and guardrails that are put in to make sure that we're not selling all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, Priscilla Presley, I know she did exploit the Elvis branding somewhat in some people's opinion. I don't think she did. I think she saved Elvis's brand. It was in bankruptcy. But I do think that there were some guardrails that were put on that. Likewise, Marilyn Monroe, the Marilyn Monroe estate, there was rampant usage of her name and branding, and that was put a stop to at one point. There was a lot of stuff that was going on. Famously, there was a lingerie company called Marilyn Monroe that had to make some changes to their name. It's my understanding. They made great products, though. I had a lot of their products, and they made great products. So this, I think, is a legitimate business aspect. And Nicola, coming from a moderate experience in the entertainment industry should understand that. Her father, as a business mogul, billionaire, should understand that as well. So will Brooklyn come to the table? He did say in his statement on Instagram again that he would not reconcile with his family. Is that legitimate, or is he being very immature? Granted, he's 26. I firmly believe that people do not develop entirely until they're 25 or 30, depending on gender, depending on their experience. But that prefrontal cortex is not developed until after the age of 25. I think boys go a little bit longer. Just my opinion. Call me sexist, whatever. But is Brooklyn willing to come to the table? Is he just crossing his arms and being stubborn? Page of Cups, he would go to the table. Queen of Cups, he would come to the table. I don't think that he has a problem with it. He wants everyone to come to him. He wants to be a stronger person. Remember what I said in that first spread. He is looking to be his own man. So this makes a lot of sense to me that he wants them to come to him with some concession. So who would have to make the move first? His dad or his mom? I don't think Victoria is going to come to the table. And I think that David is a bit more indulgent than Victoria. I'm just going to say strength in reverse. I mean, he made that statement, our kids at the WEF. I know we'll unpack that later too, but he made the statement that your children make mistakes. You have to allow them to make mistakes. So this, I think, is a mistake that he's allowing to happen. Victoria is flipping mad. We'll talk about her in another reading. Okay. So just sit tight, guys. We're going to get to her. She's going to be last. So if you get to this series and it's a few days old, you can skip right to her. But I think this Eight of Swords, she's not going anywhere. Look at that Spider Queen. Oh my. We are stuck in the muck there. So I think David is a better pitch for Brooklyn to come to the table. So David, if you're going to get him to the table, get him to the table. So what is Brooklyn's silent expectation? What does he want from this family? What does he want? Let's see. 1, 10 of Pentacles, 9 of Wands, and King of Cups. So he does, and I think this is kind of rude. I think he wants his peace. He wants his take. He wants to take that with him. He wants to go set up his own life. He doesn't want to be part of the branding. He just wants a payout to get divorced. And I wonder if this is something that we're going to see more and more with children of parents of means. I'm divorcing you. I'm going no contact, but I want you to pay out to me to make sure that I can stand on my own feet because you have cut the feet out from under me by your celebrity, by your privilege. And now here I am trying to make my way and everyone thinks I'm a joke because I pale in comparison to you. Not in reality, just in celebrity. So I think that no matter what, I think Brooklyn, his attitude in this respect is I've had my teeth kicked in every time I've tried to get a legitimate job. Every time I've tried to do something legitimate, everyone's like, well, can we get access to your parents? Can we get access to the Beckham brand? Blah, 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 blah. And I think he realizes that he's not able to make his own way on his own merit because the name is a negative. Then unless he is full in and full on with the family and the branding and the entertainment quality that they have, that he's on his own. I did see his cooking video. I saw him making a baked potato with a bunch of cheese and way too much garlic butter, way too much scallion butter. I don't even know what it was. And then baked beans on top of it and cheddar cheese. And no, it just didn't look good to me. Didn't look good. Not at all. Call Uncle Gordon. I love Gordon Ramsay. Let me know in the comments if you like Gordon Ramsay. So I think that he really does want a payout. The 10 of Pentacles is about establishing the foundation that's going to go into the future. 9 of Pentacles is I'm going to put my back up against the wall. I'm not going to fight with you anymore. And the King of Cups in reverse is going to be that always mixed up emotional, complicated emotional experience. So I think we've got some some issues here. For our purposes, I gotta ask, how much is he being influenced by his wife? How much is he being influenced by his wife? 10 of Wands. Wheel of Fortune. 7 of Swords in reverse. So when we get the 7 of Swords in reverse, the bad guy perceived is usually the bad guy. So Meghan Markle 2.0, I don't know if she's quite the same as Meghan Markle. And we're going to get to Nicola in the next reading. So I do think that this is someone who is very, very used to getting what she wants and not used to going to the table and negotiating with a number of personalities. I think she does defer to her father. Again, wildly successful businessman. I think she defers to her father, but not necessarily many, many people in the family. And I feel like with this 4 dynamic, Victoria, David, Brooklyn, and Nicola, I feel like they are at odds, that David and Victoria will want to do a certain thing a certain way. And Nicola's like, hell no, we won't go. And then Brooklyn kind of comes along. So we're going to get more into Nicola in the next one. I don't want to get ahead of us. So where are they headed? Where's Brooklyn headed if nothing changes? Where is he headed? And again, remember what I said, nothing is locked in stone. We can always have a change. We can always move into a different future. We can always timeline jump. So where is he headed? The Tower in reverse. Now, we're just going to stop right there. Tower in reverse is something that we have done that is cataclysmic and life-changing, but we've done it to ourselves. When it's in the upright, it can be fire, flood, aliens arriving. It can be someone, destroying your car because they thought it was their ex-fiancés or something like that. This is a bad sign. The Tower card is a really difficult card in the tarot because it is raising things to the ground. And lots of people have said he went absolutely nuclear with that Instagram post. I'm going to agree with this. So right now, where is he headed if nothing changes? Totally destroying everything, including all the sweet stuff from his youth. 6 of Cups there. Under the surface, where is he headed? Queen of Cups, that is going to be engineered and more bad feelings. He is going to be an emotional wreck over this. He's not going to make it through. Now, I don't think that they all spent Christmas together, but as those holidays stack up, it's going to get worse and worse. What is he leaving behind? 4 of Pentacles. He is leaving behind security and safety. What is on his mind? The 8 of Swords. All he's thinking about is not having contact, taking a break from them. Brooklyn, you can do that without throwing a grenade behind you, honestly. But this is the same one we saw for Victoria before. 8 of Swords in reverse now. So it's releasing himself. The fact that we got that for his mother and now we're getting it for him. His mother was in the upright. She's the one with the fence around her. He's walking away from the fence. Outcome card. This is going to be really important. The Devil in reverse. The devil itself is things that don't necessarily serve us well, that are not necessarily good for us, but we're comfortable, we're cozy, we're good. Not everybody's family is perfect. Some families are poor and very happy. Some families are moderately wealthy and happy and sad. And some wildly successful families are super, super happy all the time. They're getting along great. They are happy as clams. So you really have to choose the adventure that you're going to be on. And I tell people all the time, mindset, you have to be happy in your moment. If you're poor and you don't have any money, you got to be happy in the moment. You got to try to get out of it as best you can, but your mindset is so important. I always say my son and I could make friends anywhere. We could be stuck in an elevator and make friends in there. We could get stuck in the Tombs in New York. That's jail at the Manhattan Detention Center. We could be stuck in there. We'd be making friends like the Ghostbusters did. That scene was filmed in the Tombs. So be good, for goodness sake. Whoa, somebody's coming. So he is seeking his happiness detached from what he perceives as an anchor. And that is that Beckham name. So that doesn't look so good in the moment. Let's see if we can get him someplace better. And we're going to do my yellow brick road spread here. Correction, we're not going to do that. We're going to do some other things. So what is in his control? The 5 of Wands, the fighting, the drama, the craziness, that is in his control. How can he repair without humiliation? The Path, Knight of Cups, extend some love. The pressure, this is my yellow brick road spread, just so you know, guys. The pressure is the Hangman. He's going to have to admit to some of the things that he did wrong. Hidden hand here. The 5 of Pentacles. It's warmer inside than it is outside. Brooklyn, oh, you got to figure out how to live in this family dynamic. Therapy is going to help. So get in there. Public face. 5 of Cups in reverse. He has to do a mea culpa and say, I didn't know how good I had it. Didn't know how good I had it. Private goal. 6 of Cups, to get back to that happy family. And what is his likely pivot? It's the Knight of Wands. He's got to understand that sometimes it's a reach goal to achieve the same kind of fame and fortune that your parents did. I am Generation X, and Generation X is the first generation to not do better than their parents. And it sucks. It's not a good position to be in. But the reality is that some of us have to live under those conditions. So I think this is pretty cool. I do think that if he does the mea culpa and he extends himself and says, listen, I just want everybody to be happy. I don't want to have all this bad blood all over social media, tarot channels, all kinds of stuff. I don't want all this bad blood out there. He's got to, I don't want to say tuck tail, but he's got to get in there and say, I want everybody to get along. His mom and his wife might not get along. The trope of the crazy, nasty, mean mother-in-law. Everybody's got one. I was very fortunate. I had an unbelievable mother-in-law. Unfortunately, in my first marriage, my mother-in-law had passed away a number of years before I met my ex-husband. But my mother-in-law, Greg's mother, was an absolute dear, and I miss her every day. So, you can't, sometimes you get the mother-in-law lottery, sometimes you don't, and he's got to understand, and Nicola has to understand that sometimes we have to not dig our heels in. Sometimes we got to pull those Louboutins out of the muck. And we have to say, you know what, for the sake of my husband, I love my husband so much that I am going to make this work with his mother and his father and his sister and his brothers. So we're going to unpack Nicola in the next one. We're going to see what she can do and where she's coming from and what she can do to correct this situation. This reading gives us a little bit of a hint, but I'm going to see you in the next one, guys. So make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments, because we will be doing a live on this at some point where I take questions from you guys. So drop your questions in bold. I'll answer them either on Mixtape Monday or in the live. We'll definitely be talking about this. This is not the only video I'm going to do on this. We're going to keep going. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the future.